This is what we're making today. It's a Lazy Susan that you can put something on that you want to spray paint. And it's made out of some scrap lumber that I had laying around from another, well actually today I'm going to be painting this. It's for another project and I had to make that part like 5 or 6 times. So these are old ones that didn't work. So I'm using them for the top and the bottom. But this, you can move it from the side. I put it on a pedestal. I could have just done this bottom part and used it like this, but I wanted to be able to do something bigger than this on here that would stick out the sides, you know. And I also wanted to be able to get my, if I had this, you know, in the middle of a table somewhere, to be able to get my spray can down below the edge so that I could get the edge. So you can turn it here or down here. It's got a Lazy Susan bearing right down in here. All right, let's get started. Now, to make the rings that hold our pipe on, I've got a couple of hole saws, and this one's going to do the outer diameter, and then this one will do the inner diameter, and it's just a little bit bigger than the pipe, and so that'll give me enough room to put some glue in there to hold that on. All right, let's get over to the drill press and get these made. So when you use a hole saw in MDF, they clog up really bad. I actually do it in wood too because there's not enough clearance for the sawdust to get out. So here's what I do when I'm using hole saws. You just push down until you feel it kind of bottom out and get kind of hard to push, and then get you a little stick and just hit it like that, and it'll knock the sawdust out of the teeth. Go again. See, you can see the sawdust fly out of the teeth. All right, we're all the way through. Now this outer diameter could have been a lot of different sizes. This was just a handy size that I had. And actually, if you don't have any hole saws, Harbor Freight makes a set. This is item number 36222. But they make a set, and I think these sell for like $10 or something like that on sale. And it's a really good set. They work great. I've got a couple of them, and I use them quite a lot. Okay, so then you've got the disc in here, and it's stuck in there. And the only way I know to get it out is I just slide a rod, this is a screwdriver, down in there, give it a bump, go to the other side, give it a bump, and just keep working back and forth. There you go. Okay, so now we're going to go drill the smaller hole. Alright, I brought you around the other side this time so my hand wouldn't be in the way the whole time. And okay, so now we're going to drill this out. And I really probably ought to put this in a vise to hold it, but I'm just going to do it by hand. So, you know, if you do this, be careful, you know, because I don't want you to get hurt. Here's the pieces that we're going to use to make this. This is going to be the very bottom part that'll sit on the table. This is going to be the top, and I'm reusing these. If you saw my videos about the rheostat or variac, these were some patterns I was trying to cut, and I messed up like, oh, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them. So, you know, I hate to waste stuff. So these are 2 pieces that didn't work out. So that's what I'm going to use. So this. The center's already marked out on here, so I'm lining up this on this Lazy Susan bearing, which, you know, I just got this at Home Depot. I think it was $5. And you line up the small holes like that, and marking them with a nice pick. And this one's kind of up in the air. But if I put this little piece of wood up underneath it, it brings it up to the right height. So that's what I'll wind up doing. Okay, so the next thing is I need to drill these out, because what you do is you bring a screw from the other side into those little holes like that to hold it. Okay, let me get a drill. Okay, so we're going to need to countersink these just a little bit so they'll come through. Alright, so I've got a drill bit that is a little bit bigger than the head of the screw, and I'm going to countersink these just a little bit. So I think I went down probably about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, next thing we've got to do is get this attached to our base. I'm going to put it right on the edge because I want the wheel to hang over right here so that I can turn it pretty easy. So that looks pretty good. Okay, that's got that part. Alright, I've got to deal with this little divot right here. If you were making this, you wouldn't have to do that, but and that's just because I'm too cheap to use another board. So I'm gonna do this one first. So I can put that little block right there, and then look up under here. Okay, get that in the hole and tighten it down. Well, that missed that one entirely. Since I was reusing this board, it has an extra hole in it, so I countersunk the wrong hole. Yes. Now we're lined up. Okay, and that's got the first part of it done. Now, I could leave it just like this and it would be perfectly good for painting things. But when you set this on a table, I want to be able to get my can, you know, down below it. So that's why I actually am going to put this pipe on here and raise it up so that I've got a level that's above that. That way I can bring my can to the side and I can stick my other hand underneath and turn this turntable, and then no matter how big my piece is, I can still, you know, don't have to try to find the edge. So, alright, so the next thing we've got to do is get all of this stuff mounted. And I'm going to actually put this on there with hot glue. Now the first thing we've got to do is find the center of this. So this tool, I call it a center finder. I'm not sure exactly what it's. And we'll take a compass, and basically we're going to try to guess at half of this diameter. Put it right there. See how close we are. Alright, let's make it a little bit smaller. I think that might be too small. Yep, a little bit bigger. A little bit smaller. Okay. Alright, and so I'm just using that so that I can get that lined up. All right, we're going to do the same on this piece. We're going to glue that in there like that, and then flip it over. All right, our glue gun is hot. Putting a heavy bead of hot glue in there. Put one around the edge here. Shove it down in there. Put a little more around the top edge. Alright, I'll let that cool. Alright, while that's cooling, we're going to go ahead and get this glued on. It's not exactly centered, is it? Good thing it doesn't matter. Alright, so that's got it glued together. And okay, not perfectly centered. Kind of makes you sick when you watch it go around, but you know, say if you were going to spray this board, it'll get the job done. And you know, I was able to reuse some scraps. Really, the only thing I bought on this was the bearing, and I think I paid $5 for it at Home Depot. All the rest of it was some scrap that I had laying around. All right, thank you for watching.